Run by Dawnaura Weebly, Part 4. As Jay and I approached the lunch area, I could hear the discombobulated chatter of many people. The scene was chaotic, to say the least. I had never seen such calamity before. Behavior like this would never have been permitted in the children's sector. As I scanned the vastness of the room, I realized just how big the room really was. The number of people stuffed inside of it was like nothing I'd ever seen. Most everyone was covered in soot from head to toe, and their jumpsuits were worn and tattered. By the smell of the room, they didn't seem to bother with personal hygiene either. You could tell immediately who was new by the brightness of their suits and their bald scalps. They stuck out like a white lamb among a pack of rabid wolves. "Over here," I heard someone shout, and I looked and noticed it was a gentleman with long dark hair and a scruffy face, waving to Jay from one of the many tables. "Come on, Z. It looks like they saved us a seat." Jay smiled brightly at me. I tried to smile back amid my nervousness and followed Jay over to the rambunctious crowd. Jay sat down and shoved a few others over to leave me barely enough room to sit next to him. "So, is this the girl you're always gabbing about, Jaydog?" The long-haired man laughed as he scooped up some green-looking slosh into his mouth. A few of the others around him started roaring in laughter as Jay's face turned bright red. "Shut up," Jay glared at the man. "Oh, come on, Jaydog. I'm just fooling with you, man." The man laughed heartily before returning to look at me. "Well, since Jaydog here is deciding to be rude and not introduce me, I'll do it myself. I'm DK3, but you can call me Dickie." Jay rolled his eyes at his friend. "Nice to meet you, Dickie," I said shyly. "This here's AR, Belle's, and VTech." He continued the introductions, pointing to the three others sitting around him. AR was the cleanest cut looking one of the group. Although he had a full head of hair, he at least kept it short and neatly brushed back. He looked at me with a warm and friendly smile. Belle's was pale, with big, beautiful eyes, and her hair was fashioned in pigtails, one black and the other bright blonde. She used the soot as a sort of decoration on her face. She put it around her lips and above her eyelids. She had cut intricate designs in her jumpsuit to reveal parts of her skin beneath. She looked at me skeptically as I acknowledged her. VTech, I could tell, was the quiet one. He was calm in all senses of the word. He wore a torn scarf over his head. He kept his face cleanly shaven, despite the fact it was covered in soot. I nodded my greeting, and he simply nodded calmly back in return. "Nice to meet you all," I said softly. "You wait here, Z. I'll go get our supplement," Jay said, without giving me a chance to either deny or thank him. I wish he wouldn't have left me there. I felt so awkward. "So, Z, she's talked a lot about you," Dickie said to me as AR, Belle's, and VTech looked at one another, then back at me. "That's nice," I replied, unsure of what to say in return. "He says you can be trusted. You can be, right? Trusted?" he said with a very serious look on his face. Belle's began to scratch her sharpened nails on the table in a threatening manner, while AR and VTech sort of looked around aimlessly, pretending that Belle's and Dickie weren't trying to intimidate me. "Yes," I said back, trying to look brave and sincere. I can be trusted." The moment the words left my lips, Belle's demeanor changed completely, and she gave me a warm smile, and AR and VTech breathed a huge sigh of relief. "I like her," Belle's chimed to the boys. "It's about time we finally got another girl in the group." "That's a huge compliment. She doesn't take to people so well so soon," AR said with a warm, assuring tone. "That's not true." Belle smacked AR in the shoulder. He winced and rubbed the area to soothe it. "Look, honey," Belle's leaned in close to me. "Don't listen to these boys. They're just jealous because you're cute and Jay already set his eyes on you." "Eyes on me? What are you all talking about?" Jay sat down next to me with 2 trays filled with the same green goop that everyone else was eating. "Oh, nothing." Belle's leaned back in her seat and gave me a wink. Jay noticed and giggled in response. Belle's already likes you? Well then, you're lucky. That's what AR started to say something, but Belle shot him a threatening look and he retreated. Y'all better stop making me look like I'm some sort of tyrant or something, or you're gonna scare the poor darling off. Besides, I ain't that bad, she said with her hands placed firmly on her hips. The boys all hooted in billowing laughter. Sure you aren't, Dickie said sarcastically. What about that one time you tripped that dude from Group 10 and he fell in the soot pile? He was in the infirmary for a week from inhaling all that soot. Well, he shouldn't have called AR a nitwit, Belle said back sternly. Don't forget about the girl from Group 12, VTech added rather nonchalantly. Yeah, you hit that girl so hard she lost all 4 of her front teeth, Jay chimed in with a laugh. Well, that little turd Tina tried to steal my bootstrings. She deserved it. I bet you she won't try to steal from me again, she said angrily back. It ain't my fault you boys don't know how to stick up for yourselves. Her face was so red, and I could swear steam was spewing from her ears. Calm down, Bells. We're just teasing with you, Dickie said lovingly to her. We think turd Tina looks great toothless. That said, they all, including me, and even Bells, started roaring in laughter. I felt much more comfortable now that the ice had been broken. Comfortable enough to finally ask the question that had been burning within my mind. So, I looked at all of them. How did you all meet? I finally asked. They all quickly got quiet and looked around uncomfortably. Great. I had finally opened my mouth and already managed to ruin the mood. Not here, Z, Jay whispered nervously. I thought you said she could be trusted, Jay, Dickie said sternly. She just got here, Dickie. She didn't mean anything by it, Jay said back. Well, it's questions out in the open like that can get us killed. You better educate her, and quick. We can't risk our lives on stupid mistakes like that. Dickie got up and stormed away from the table. AR and VTech gave me a pitiful look and slowly followed after Dickie. Belle shot him a disapproving glare as he walked away, then turned to look at me. Don't you pay him no mind, darlin'. He's just being a sourpuss. I'm gonna go rip him a new one, all right? You stay here with Jay, okay? I nodded to her, and she stormed off on a mission to go find Dickie. I looked over to Jay apologetically. I'm sorry, Jay. I didn't mean... Jay stuck out his hand, motioning me to stop. Don't worry about it, Z. You didn't know any better. Don't mind him. He's just being cautious. All right, I responded softly. You're not eating? Jay said, looking down at my untouched plate. I'm not very hungry. I lied. I was starving, but I couldn't bring myself to eat whatever that slop was on my tray. Me neither, Jay replied. How about we head back to the pod? Sure. I gave him a solemn nod. All right, let's go.